Hey, second graders. On to another math lesson. This is lesson 12. So what you're going to need to follow along with me is your lesson 12 problem set that's in your Learn book. It's on page 207. Looks like this. It's a bunch of story problems. So our learning target for this lesson today, I can solve story problems that involve money. And the directions do ask us to do it a certain way or show our work a certain way. So we have to use either the arrow way, a number bond, or a tape diagram, right? And those are just ways to show our work. So let's get started. The first one says, Jeremy had 80 cents. So I'm going to circle because I have the story problems written. So circle as you go as well on your problem set. So Jeremy had 80 cents. That's important, right? How much more, I kind of shortened it, how much more money does he need to have $1? So we're trying to get up to $1. Since 80 cents is close to $1, I think the arrow way would be a good way to solve this, right? So let's start with 80 cents, okay? And remember, when we use arrow way, we can skip out by tens or ones or hundreds. Obviously, we don't want to go by hundreds. Ones would take a while, so why don't we skip count by tens? So we can go 80 cents, we can go plus 10. What does that make? 90 cents. We got to go another what? 10. And now we are at 100 cents, which is the same as $1. But we need an answer. How much more money does he need to get to $1? So if you think back and you remember how we use these arrows, we have to take what's on top of the arrows and combine it to get our answer. So how much is on top of the arrows? 10 and 10 makes 20. So my sentence will be, Jeremy needs 20 cents. And he would make $1. All right, on to number 2. Abby bought a banana for 35 cents. She gave the cashier $1. How much change did she receive? So she's going to the grocery store and a banana costs 35 cents. She gives the cashier $1 and they're going to give her some money back because the banana didn't cost $1, right? So let's use a tape diagram for this one just to show our work. So we know we're going to have 2 parts and we're going to have a whole. So 35 cents, is that one of the parts or is that the whole? It is a part. $1. Is that the other part or is that the whole? That is the whole in this case. Okay, and we're looking for this part here. Okay, so we're looking for that part there. We can count up from 35 to 100, kind of like we did there, or we could go backwards. We could do 100 minus 35. So let's remind ourselves of that. Because I noticed when we were doing some of the subtraction review that some of you were having trouble remembering how to unbundle. I saw a lot of this. Watch. You see what I just did? I flipped it around. Instead of doing 0 minus 5, I did 5 minus 0. Not the same thing, right? You always have to take what's on top minus what's on bottom. I can't. I've got zeros. So this is one of those ones where you got to go all the way over and do a lot of unbundling, right? So I go to the hundreds, I unbundle it. That becomes a 10. But I still want to unbundle again because I need to make that a 10. So a 9 and a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. So she would get back 65 cents. Abby gets 65 cents back. Okay. You could also solve it using arrows. You could start at 35 and you could count up. You go 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95. So that would be 60. And then we know we need 5 more to get to 100 to make 65. Okay, last one for the front side. Joseph spent 75 cents of his dollar. How much is left? Okay, so 75 cents of his dollar. So those are the two amounts that we know, right? Oh, I can't see the bottom of my, there we go. So we know that 75 is a part, okay? Do we know the other part? Nope, that's my question mark. And we know that $1 or 100 goes up there. Now, if you have gotten good at counting by quarters, you should know what's left here, right? Do you remember? 25, 50, 75, 100. So we should know what's missing. Or you can subtract like we did last time, but it's kind of hard when you got a bunch of zeros. We can just count up. So 75, I'm going to go 5 first to get to 80. And then how many more do I need to get to 100? 20. So I combine those. 20 plus 5 is 25. So Joseph has 25 cents left. There we go. We are going to flip our paper over and solve the back. I'm going to pause my video for a second so I can write the story problems up here, and then we'll get started on finishing those. All right, we are on to the back. I've got the story problems written for you. So 4, 5, and 6, we're going to work through these also. We're still going to be using tape diagrams, number bonds, and arrow way to solve them, okay? Read with me, circle as you go, okay? What's important? The notepad Elise wants costs $1. She has 4 dimes and 3 nickels. How much more money does she need? So let's think about what's important. We know that the dollar is important, right? What else did you circle? Right? 4 dimes, 3 nickels. And I'm going to wonder how much more money does she need? Okay, so this one, it kind of goes a step further than the ones on the front, doesn't it? Because instead of just giving us, she wants something that costs $1 and she has this much money. Now we have to deal with the coins. So we have to count the coins before we can do anything. So let's draw our coins and count them up. So 4 dimes and 3 nickels. So remind me, what are dimes worth? 10. And what about nickels? 5, right? Okay, and then we need to count up what the total is. So let's count by tens first. 10, 20, 30, 40. 5, 10, 15. And we can just kind of add those two things together. 5, 4 plus 1 is 5. So right now, she has 55 cents. So that's what we figured out so far. The notepad that she wants costs $1. How much more money does she need so she can buy the notepad? So let's work from 55 up to $1. I'm using some arrows. What do you think we should add first? I'm thinking 5, right? Remember, when we're not at a 10, your goal is to get to that 10 and then choose something else to count by. So if we add 5 cents, what's 55 plus 5? 60. And remember, we're trying to get to what number? 100. So we're at 60 and we're trying to get to 100. It's just like your tens facts, right? 6 plus what equals 10? 4. So 60 plus 40 equals 100. All you got to do to finish it right is count up what's on top of your arrows. 40 and 5. So how much more money does Elise need? 45 cents. There we go. She needs 45 cents. Give you a second to catch up. Number 5. Dane saved 26 cents Friday and 35 cents Monday. How much more money will he need to save $1? So I got 26 cents. I've also got 35 cents, right? How much more money to get to $1? Now, before we can try to figure out how much more money he needs, we have to figure out, well, how much does he have so far? So he saved 26 Friday and 35 Monday. How do we figure out what he saved on both those days? Add them together. Let's just go back to our normal vertical form. Remembering your regrouping, right? Add the ones together. 6 plus 5 is what? 11. 1 and regroup the 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 3 more is 6. So far, Dane has saved 61 cents, but he's trying to get to $1. Okay, let's draw a little tape diagram for this one. So the dollar goes up top. I'm going to change it to 100 because we're working with cents. We know he saved 61 so far, but I don't know what over there is. I don't know how much more he needs. Okay. Should we subtract? Practice your unbundling skills because we can't subtract from zeros, right? So go all the way to the hundreds and unbundle. Unbundle that and make it a 0. This becomes a 10. Now don't forget this step. You can't just make this one a 10. You have to unbundle from the 10s first. So make it a 9, then that can become a 10. Whew, lots of unbundling. But now we can subtract. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 6 is 3. So Dane needs 39 more cents. Don't have a lot of room. I'll write right here. Wherever you got space. Dane needs 39 cents more. Very good. I gotta scooch that down so you can see the bottom problem. The last one we'll do together. All right, you ready? Daniel had $1. He lost, maybe he had a hole in his pocket. He lost 6 dimes and 3 pennies. What coins might he have left? This one has a lot of steps, okay? So he had $1. We know that's going to be my hole. And we know one of the parts, but we don't know the amount yet, okay? So let's get a number bond just so we know what we're looking for. So we know he started with $1 or 100 cents, okay? We know one of the parts, kind of, but we don't know the other. So let's figure out this part by counting 6 dimes and 3 pennies. So draw your 6 dimes. And dimes are 10s, right? 10s. So label your coins. And then it said he also lost 3 pennies, right? So those are 1s. 6 dimes and 3 pennies. Can we count that up? Count by 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63. So he had 63 cents fall out of his pocket. Okay. We need to figure out what's still left in his pocket before we can come up with some coins. Okay. So should we just subtract these? Because it's kind of the easiest way to do it. As long as you got your unbundling down. 100 minus the 63 cents. It's going to be that same process. All the way to the hundreds. Unbundle it. Make it 0. The 0 becomes a 10. But then you have to unbundle that 10. It's a 9. And that's a 10. Then we can subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 6 is 3. So we know that he has 37 cents left. But look at the question. What coins might he have left? So now we actually have to come up with what could total 37 cents. There's lots of different ways that you can do it, right? So try to come up with a way that he could have 37 cents. We could do dimes and pennies. We could do a quarter and a dime and some pennies. We could do nickels and pennies. You could do 37 pennies. Okay. I'm going to take the highest coin and I'm going to start there. So I'm going to say that he had, what's the biggest coin we've worked with? a quarter, right? He had a quarter, so that's 25. Can I add 10 to that? Yes. 25, 35. Almost there. What do I need? 2 pennies. Or you could do 3 dimes and 7 pennies, or 3 dimes and nickel and 2 pennies. Okay? You just got to make sure you come up with one that is 37 cents. Okay? You are now going to work on the lesson 12 homework page that's in your Succeed book, and it's going to be story problems that are very similar to these. So take your time. Arrows are a really handy way when you're trying to get up to 100, because with arrows, it saves you from having to do all this unbundling. If you'd rather just subtract, as long as you unbundle correctly, go for it, right? Read it carefully, draw pictures if you need to, and make sure you have an answer sentence for your solution. I'll see you guys later. Bye.